I did not get any games for Christmas, but I still did get some games for myself. I'm reaching the point in adulthood where at least I haven't asked for games for Christmas or for the holidays or whatever for a couple years now. And I'm at a point where I don't necessarily feel right doing so, but I was talking with my fiance and it seems like that's something I should do more instead of just kind of being like, I don't know, get me gift cards. And then I spend my gift cards on work things instead of fun things. And it's a weird cycle. So I have a stack here of games that I picked up and some that I was given from my parents because they are moving and they dropped something off to me. And I have a couple movies that my fiance got me for Christmas as well. I surveyed my patrons and you all in the community tab of my YouTube channel with a poll asking if you wanted to see more spread out recent pickups where I had more games but didn't really spend a whole lot of time talking about them, or more frequent ones where I actually played the games and show some gameplay and talk about them, and you guys voted for the latter. And honestly, that's a good thing, because as weird as it may sound, I am these days looking for more excuses to be able to play video games and not, feel like I'm doing wrong by not dedicating that time to work. This is technically work. I have not actually played all of these yet, but I'm getting around to them this weekend. And here are my recent pickups for January of 2018. I keep saying it wrong. January 2018. First and foremost, I did want to start out with that like I said, my family is moving, and so they gave me their old Wii. I do not have a Wii in my collection. I've never justified buying one because I have a Wii U, and now I have a GameCube again. A GameCube with component cables, mind you. So there's no real reason to fit in a Wii, but of course I wasn't going to let them throw it away, so I took it, and they gave me they have a bunch of the Wiimote, controller adapters for Mario, and they have like a lightsaber for the Wiimote, and a football thing, and things like that, so that was cool. And the Wii's still in pretty good shape. I could mod it, I could turn it into a dedicated Project M box if I actually ever played Smash that much. I'm just going to hold on to it for now. I have soft modded the Wii within my Wii U, and so that's already done, but I could transfer that to the Wii and have it be dedicated just for the Wii, but then I'd have 2 sensor bars. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I thought they had more games, like they had the lightsaber Wiimote attachment, so I figured they would have a Star Wars game, but I don't see one in here. We've got pretty much the basic essentials of a Wii collection. Wii Sports, actually that's Nickelodeon Fit, Wii Play, Zumba Fitness 2, but then the standout ones that I care about, Toy Story Mania, and then New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, which I don't actually have, and it's a pretty decent game. And like I said, they have a couple of the retro-style controller case things for it as well. So, no gameplay of those because I'm not going to play them anytime soon, but I am happy to have added in a couple of the staples, especially the Mario one, to my Wii collection, because my Wii collection is severely lacking. And I've talked before on the channel that I don't really talk about Nintendo a whole lot on the channel, and that's because, like, among principle-based ideas that I have against the company that we don't need to discuss right now, their games are still expensive. You go into a GameStop where I can pick up an entire stack of PS4 and PS3 games for like $50. I can only get like 1 or 2 Wii games unless it's shovelware. The first party, the actually good games are still like $20 to $30 used because of how their market works. They just keep games so expensive, and they never really put them on huge sales or anything either. So it's hard to collect for it as someone who likes just buying a bunch of cheap stuff once they hit the bargain bin. I did pick up, though. Actually, 2 of those are movies I'll get rid of. Oh, I'm dropping games. I have picked up a stack of PS4 and then a couple PS3 and Wii U games as well. Most of these were in a single GameStop run, so I'll separate those here. Yeah. All of these were in a single GameStop run. It was a pretty good sale. I mean, they're not like dirt cheap prices, but pretty good sale, and it was a bunch of games that I've personally never really played and always been told I should get into, and I really wanted to finally stop buying the same kinds of games that I know I'm familiar with, the comfort purchases, and check out some new ones. And so far, I've really been enjoying them. Like I said, there's a couple I haven't gotten into yet that I hope to play and record some soon. Before we get into those, the ones that I know that I like, I picked up from East Asia Soft, which is a company that does physical releases of games that are usually only digital, and you import them from Asia, of course, and that is Tachyon Project, which is a twin-stick shooter. I have a huge soft spot for twin-stick shooters. They are some of my favorite game. I guess I'd call them throwaway games. Not that the games themselves are bad, but like I can always just go pick one up and just enjoy it for a little bit at a time. And this version comes with the soundtrack, and of course, what is a twin-stick shooter without a good soundtrack? It's been a lot of fun so far. I've had a good time with it, and they always have nice collector boxes. It's got, they got limited edition certificates, the game manual, sometimes stickers and soundtrack, and pretty cool. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty standard for the twin-stick shooter genre, but I have thoroughly been enjoying my time with it. The premise of Tachyon Project is a little different, though. Instead of just shoot the aliens or shoot the bad guys, your ship is called Ada, and it's basically kind of like the 1980s hackers, you know, graphics, where you're describing the process of hacking as like physical things, and so you are the hacker, you are the virus that is supposed to break into different computer security and hack the mainframe, so to speak, by destroying the enemy ships. And so your creators were arrested for hacking like the mayor's office or something, and you were released into the wild, and you're supposed to hack your way and maybe track down your original creators. And it's kind of an interesting concept, and it affects the gameplay a little bit, and so far I've been really enjoying it. I finally picked up Horizon Zero Dawn. I was specifically waiting to purchase this until I could play it in 4K because I knew the graphics were amazing. My buddy BBK Dragoon has played a lot. He's beat it. He's made a couple videos on it and kept talking about how beautiful the visuals and stuff were. I wanted to wait until I had 4K capable PS4 Pro to play it and see it in all of its beauty. And I've put, I think, like an hour, maybe 2 hours into it so far. I haven't made it super far. But it is beautiful. So far, I'm really liking the gameplay mechanics, and I'm dropping the game. I like it so much, I guess. And it just, the world, the aspect of basically, you know, the pretty standard post-apocalyptic setting of, oh, this is way after civilization. We went back to our hunter and gatherer roots, except there's big bad robot predators that you have to tame and avoid and things like that. And it's got some sneaking elements, archery, which I'm a sucker for in video games. I've been really, really enjoying it, and I think I'm gonna I haven't played a little bit since my first like big session. I think I'm gonna move my PS4 Pro over to my 4K TV so I can see HDR with it as well, because I get a feeling that'll enhance the experience a little bit. And this is the complete edition, so it comes with the new, they have Frozen Wilds expansion as well, which just released, and so I was waiting to get this because I wanted it in physical form. So definitely recommend this to anyone who owns a PS4. Like, this is one of those games that you get a PS4, or you know, you get a console for. Highly recommend. I also want a giveaway from @TriangleSqrd on Twitter. I'll have a link to their stuff in the description below. They do basically devamps of game cases down to PS1, like from PS4 to the PS1 style, and they did a giveaway, and I won the Horizon Zero Dawn one, and it is so cool. I'm a sucker for these devamps. I've been trying to make some myself, but I'm a stickler about the print quality and the resolution, and I haven't found enough resources that are high enough quality to recreate it, and I'm not a designer, and there's some issues I've ran into, but they do a great job. They've done a lot of different ones, and they're doing some really cool new ones for the new year. So I have them linked in the description, but I won the giveaway for this one, and it's even shrink wrapped as if it's, you know, a brand new game or something. Pretty cool. From my GameStop haul, we have some weird ones for me. Like I said, these are games that, other than like one of these here, that I don't normally buy. So first up, we have Earth's Dawn, which visually on the front and stuff looked a little bit like Nier Automata. But when you turn it around and once I started playing, it is very much it's a 2D side-scroller, not really a platformer, like there's some jumping and platforming involved, but it's more of a combat RPG. And so you have a little 2D sprite character who's, you know, all animate up or whatever, and you level up your weapons and build better weapons, and it changes how you look, and the visual style takes some getting used to, but I really like it. It's a cliche setting of aliens have taken over the world and only this special group of elite modified soldiers can handle it, and you've got to level up your armor. I believe the mail truck is stopping by. But it's been pretty fun. Like, I was expecting to hate this. As soon as I turned it on, I was like, oh my god, I am not going to like this. But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with it so far, and I'm actually excited to go play this some more this weekend. It's got a super basic crafting system where in order to level up your weapons or to like modify your gear or your armor or whatever, you have random items you get from enemy drops once you kill enemies, and they just add attributes to your armor. It doesn't seem to be super sophisticated or overly complicated. You just add the things to your weapons and it enhances them, and then they change and they look cool on your character and things like that. The one thing which is super nitpicky but that bugs the crap out of me is as you're walking through the levels, you're with this whole squad of soldiers. They never fight beside, well, I guess they fight beside you a little bit. No, they never fight beside you. Yeah, every time you enter combat. So basically, they're walking here and their sprites are going over top of yours, and it's really obnoxious as is. And then the second you enter combat, they fade out, and you're the only one there fighting. So I really don't understand what the point of having them there is, because it just creates screen clutter and just bugs the crap out of me if they're not really helping you in battles. I don't know. It was a little weird. And another cool element about this game is it has timed events. So, you know, the aliens are taking over the world, they're destroying specific points, and it has timed events where you can grind up the submissions or the side missions up to a certain point to level up your character until the big event happens, and then you need to go try to beat that big boss or to clear out that big area. And if you fail, you can try again within a certain period of time, or you just gotta go do some more side missions. And it adds a bit more dynamic element to the game, because instead of just linearly progressing, you're doing like the linear story while also picking up the big alert events. And I really enjoy that about games, especially when they're not tied to an online community that may or may not be dead. If you're interested in something like that based on what you see, I can recommend it, especially for only like 15 bucks. God Eater 2 Rage Burst. This is a game I knew absolutely nothing about, and I had the exact same thoughts as the GameStop cashier when I brought it up there. I was thinking, I was like, I know I've heard people recommend God Eater before, but I don't know anything about it. It looked pretty cool. It looked like a nice little action JRPG, but I had no clue what to expect. And that is literally, as soon as I got up to the counter with it, they were like, man, I keep hearing that this game is really good, but I don't have a clue what it is. I was just like, me too. So it is definitely a JRPG. It has an anime character style, so if you like that or hate that, that may affect what you're doing. Has really cool music to it, although it gets a little repetitive in the little hub world thing. But you deploy out to go fight big bad origami enemies. Not origami, origamis. They are terrifying beasts set on destroying mankind. And you're brand new to, again, this elite squadron of specifically selected soldiers that can merge with your weapon that they attach to your arm. It's kind of like Devil May Cry almost, except it's more like a mechanical weapon. And you go and fight the bosses and level up, and it has some a bit of a crafting system to it as well that I haven't really gotten into yet. But it's been pretty fun. I thought I'd be turned off by the anime style. I really didn't think I would like that in games, but so far I've been pretty surprised. Now it says it includes God Eater Resurrection, which I believe is like a full, or, you know, a re-release of the first one. But this also says Day 1 edition, so that may have been a download only thing. I will double check the disc and add in a note here. It may be on disc, it may not. Warriors AllStars was a game that I got super hyped for when I heard it was coming out and then totally forgot about. I have so many different Dynasty Warriors games. I've never beaten a single one, but I freaking love the combat mechanics. Like I sunk probably 4 hours straight just one morning when I was recording all of these. Just one morning over a weekend during winter break, I sat down, played this, and suddenly like 4 or 5 hours passed by. I was enjoying it so much, and I always do that with Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors games going back to the PS2 days. I still have Hyrule Warriors I need to finish too. This one takes a little bit of a different concept. I thought it would be like a fighting game, like a 2D fighter or something, but it's still a Warriors game, but it brings in characters from a lot of the Koei Tecmo franchises and a lot of the Japanese characters. So, for example, my current squad that I'm playing with is Ryu Hayabusa, the girl from Dead or Alive, whose name I totally forgot already, Ayane, I believe, from Dead or Alive, and William from Neo. And they all just show up, and I'm guessing because they're based in specific areas. But then it has other characters from Dead or Alive and a few other games that I just truly do not recognize, but all mixed in with the Samurai's Warriors characters. And the premise is you're on this specific world, which is inhabited by cat people, which kind of creeps me out a little bit. And they have this sacred forest that provides life, or it provided life to all of their planet, and it's been decaying. And due to corruption and stuff, it's dying off. And the prince and actually it was the little sister of the prince of the world, used the last remaining power of the tree to summon all of the greatest warriors from all of the different worlds to come to their world to kill off the bad guys and save the sacred forest so their world can live. Except then suddenly the prince wants to take the power from the princess, and you have the dynasty rivalry as you would expect in a Dynasty Warriors game. And some of the heroes side with different people. And so, like I said, my squad is, I feel like her name is Ayane. It's not Ayane. Ryu, Hayabusa, and William from Neo just running around kicking some butt. It is pretty awesome. If you like Warriors games at all, or if you like, I'm a huge sucker for crossover franchise games. So Smash Brothers, PlayStation AllStars, as unsuccessful as it was, Digimon Rumble Arena was one of my, I'm gonna go back and play that soon because that's still one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. Those kinds of crossover mashing games, loved it. Alright, these I have not fully played through yet. Tales of Vesperia. I keep having the Tales games, Berseria, I don't know. I keep having the Tales games recommended to me. They are another JRPG series, and Radical Reggie keeps talking about them. He's in the Metal Jesus crew and does his own PlayStation collecting and videos and such. He's always talking about these games, and I have never played one. So since I was picking up a bunch of games I wanted to try, I wanted to give it a try. I haven't put enough time in to determine whether I like it or not yet, but... So I've actually gotten around to playing Tales of Berseria between... Wow, I still say that weird. Between recording the original shoot of this and editing the video, and I must say I am hooked. I'm like 4 hours in now. This is like one of the longer games that I've actually put in, or one of the longer sessions I've put in when I'm just trying to record for this video and then go play them later. It's a lot of fun. It starts out kind of misleading. I went into this totally blind. I had no clue what to expect with Tales games. And it starts out kind of almost like Fable, where you're in this village and everyone's all friendly. And I'm not going to spoil it, but some screwed up stuff happens that completely twists the plot and changes where the game goes. You play as this character named Velvet, who does not wear enough clothes, and she has a demon arm due to the things that happen. And you go around killing and eating demons and trying to take revenge for what happened in the first hour or so of gameplay. And it's a JRPG, and it has the typical you wander around, and then when you bump into an enemy, it enters the combat instance mechanics, and you got a party and things like that. But instead of being turn-based and all about casting spells or casting specific moves, it has some of those mechanics, but it also has a layer of basically like brawler or fighter mechanics, where you have combos you can do with your 4 face buttons, the triangle, square, circle, X, and you fight that way, and it's all in real time, and you can block and dodge, and dodging costs more move points than actually, or it costs move points, so there's a penalty there. It's really enjoyable so far. Again, I'm a few hours in, but I don't feel like I've really scratched the surface of where the game's going. I don't know how long it's supposed to be. And there's just some really unique and interesting characters that you meet along the way, and the interactions have been pretty funny so far, and items to collect, although I haven't had any use for them. But like I said, I don't feel like I've scratched the surface yet, but I have been enjoying it so freaking much. I just wanted to jump in here and talk about it.
Cats? Is that different from a regular cat somehow?
It's complicated. Cats are a mysterious bunch. Just think of them as a special kind of Moloch. Sort of.
That works for me. I understand that they're hard to understand, at least.
Hey, I don't suppose you happen to be carrying any cat spirits on you? They look like this.
Need for Speed, just Shift 2 Unleashed. Racing game, I always try to pick these up when they're super cheap just because I enjoy them, and I go back and play them a lot. I don't always hop on the newest ones because they're expensive, but I go back and play them, like Dirt 2 and Dirt Rally and I want to finally start playing the Forza games. I had the launch one that came with my 360 that I never played. Always pick it up, and it has a nice little hollow sleeve. Alright, last 2 games of the video. White Knight Chronicles 3. Looks like a cheap, probably not very good, but thought it'd be interesting fantasy RPG where you get to create and customize your own knight. Become the hero, become the knight. War casts its shadow across the land. Good becomes evil and hope turns to fear. It looks super cheesy, super basic. Now, White Knight Chronicles 2 is a game that I tried to put some time into and wound up spending almost 2 hours fighting it, diagnosing audio problems because, for whatever reason, the voices during the cutscenes are not coming through at all. And while I'm used to games that specifically don't have voice acting, it's really hard to sit through a cutscene that's clearly supposed to rely on the voice acting. And like I said, I figured maybe the PS3's default detection of, I have my PS3 running to my TV and then my TV via optical out to my surround sound system. And I just assumed some setting there was wrong and I needed to set it so it would send things right. Even though when I'm customizing the player, it plays the voices through the center speaker just fine. I spent forever diagnosing this, and come to find out when I Googled it, there are a lot of people that have these issues. So I don't even know if I'll be able to play it, which is kind of disappointing because I was super impressed. When you start it up, it gives you the option to choose to either just pick up White Knight Chronicles 2 if you've already played the first one and it starts you at level 35 with like a pre-configured character, or you start all the way back at level 1 with White Knight Chronicles 1 and you make your character and go from there. And the character customization is completely overkill and not necessarily in a good way because you can customize pretty much every aspect of your character. The foot size, the neck size, like there's like pages upon pages of size adjustments. But like presets for how your character actually looks are very limited. Like your scars and markings on your face and things like that games usually give you plenty of, it does not. Seemed like it might be an interesting fantasy RPG to put some time into, but without that audio issue, I don't know exactly what I'll be doing yet. So that was a dud. We'll see if it's any good. And then Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I missed out. I actually installed it on my PS4 and didn't have time to play it. The Monster Hunter 4 beta. And that is coming out on PS4 very soon. I have never played a Monster Hunter game, but I always heard good things about them in high school. I think I have the PSP one, and then I picked up Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the Wii U as well. I keep forgetting which side I need to put this on. Just because it's a cheaper entry, it was only $10 that I can get into and see if I actually like the format before I jump in on 4. So I am super excited to dive into that. Alright, before we wrap up this video, I know it is... I almost fell off my couch there. It is really weird setting this up to record a video. I know people are not as excited about this part of the videos, but I always want to include them. I do have some movie pickups as well. So right before Christmas, I went ahead and picked up, I got the Night Trap documentary from My Life in Gaming. They did actually do a limited physical release. You can see their logo there, covering just the production of Night Trap, the history of it, and then the remasters that they've done. Really nice little physical set, completely as if you were buying like something brand new, even has a UPC code and everything. Definitely wanted to support them. They do great work over at My Life in Gaming, and having physical releases of things like my favorite creators have made is always just like awesome to me. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and do that. I wanted their like how to beat VHS tapes and stuff, but I haven't gotten around, or they haven't made any more since I decided I wanted them. So we'll see if that ever comes back. For Christmas for my fiance, I got her Wonder Woman on Blu-ray, but I also got her, which we watched early, which was our first HDR viewing, Atomic Blonde on 4K HDR for our new TV. And it was a pretty interesting movie, certainly different. It gave me some Metal Gear vibes in terms of the way that it handles history and things like that. Certainly an interesting movie set in the Cold War era, just a spy thriller, awesome ass kicking. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and seeing it in HDR was pretty cool. I also picked up, which we haven't watched yet, Planet Earth 2, because that's just kind of the showcase for 4K and HDR and stuff. I actually got my grandparents, because my family got my grandparents, a big fancy Sony, I think 60-inch 4K HDR TV for Christmas, and so I got them the 4K Blu-ray player and a copy of Planet Earth 2, so they would have something in the fancy new format to watch. It looked really, really good. Haven't watched it on mine yet, but excited to actually watch the movie in the first place. And, okay, here is Wonder Woman. I didn't get this in 4K because I hadn't actually gotten the 4K TV yet, so I wish I had, but I couldn't return it easily and whatever, and it'll still look really good. For me for Christmas, fiance got me Deadpool in 4K. Heck yes. Super excited to see that. It was already, I mean, I've already seen it, but super excited to see it in the new format. Guardians of Galaxy Volume 2 in 4K HDR with the nice little sleeve. And then, which I didn't even know existed yet, it's apparently a new thing. They released a 15th anniversary set of Firefly on Blu-ray, and it's got this nice case here. Comes with a collectible star mat and all of the episodes, including a unreleased episode. It has, like I said, a little star mat and some character cards and things like that. Pretty interesting. Oh, dude! I almost totally forgot to mention. Also for Christmas, my fiance got me the Stranger Things soundtrack on vinyl. She knows that I've been collecting a lot of game soundtracks and albums that I can find that I like on vinyl lately, over 2017 pretty much, and she got me the Stranger Things soundtrack. I was super stoked for this. We didn't watch it when it first came out, but I kept hearing good things, and then when Stranger Things Season 2 came out, a few weeks later, we finally sat down and powered through all of it. We enjoyed the heck out of it. I tried to get my mom to watch it. I thought she would like it because she loved like Goonies and stuff, and anything 80s really, and she wasn't a huge fan, but like I don't even think she finished it. She said she got bored, but we loved it, and the music is great, and that was one of my favorite Christmas presents. One last game I want to talk about that I was sent from Sega Europe was the Total War Warhammer Collector's Edition. Pretty neat, and they have, since, again, I am sponsored by Intel and things like that on a regular basis, they have a special Intel demo room where you can try out and see just how, with your Intel hyper-threaded processor with an Intel Core i7, just how many units you can get on screen and things like that. I am trash at RTS games, but I always have this weird fascination with them. Like, I like the idea of such a scaled up war and the things I want to see, like the stuff I used to try to recreate with my action figures and things like that. Again, I am trash at them, but I always try to get my hands in them and see if I can actually play them. So pretty neat. Shout out to Sega for that. And that wraps up this episode, or this month's episode of Recent Pickups. I do hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts on the games I have picked up, if you played them or tried them out or anything like that, let me know in the comment section down below. If there's any Wii games I need to collect before they start getting phased out, since we're now 2 generations away, let me know as well, because I post a little B-roll shot of my Wii collection right now. It is pretty sad at the moment, and most of the games that I do want are still very expensive. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Happy New Year if you're watching this actually in January. And hit the like button. Subscribe for more awesome videos. I'm EposVox, and I'll see you next time. This video is sponsored by viewers like you. Our videos would not be possible without the generosity of those of you who contribute to one of our fan funding options, be it donor box, Twitch subscriptions, direct contributions via PayPal, or Patreon. To join our inner circle and get behind-the-scenes looks at videos, go to eposvox.com/support to learn more, and join us on Discord at eposvox.com/discord. Thanks.